I've been reading a lot of the comments lately, and honestly, I like the debates. Like, I'm having a lot of fun. I think like I'm not, like it's better than being alone, right? But the debates are awesome. Thanks, guys, for and gals for posting it up. But I noticed something interesting. So most of the arguments are asking like trading questions, about something that was never designed to behave like a trade. And talking about this because I'm getting into trading again and day trading. And it's a great concept because, I have my weekly XRP charting sessions, and I've been looking at it as, in some of this behavior as well too, because like it's hard for me to kind of draw like the two lines as an investor, and then also someone who believes in XRP, as utilization, right? And then I also believe in trading, because it's short term, and then it's something that's exciting and more about hype. But the lenses, they're two different lenses, and then I don't want to get muddied up into that. And so, instead of arguing price, I want to talk about the lens that people are using. So the first thing that we need to do is fix the category error, right? So what I'm saying about that is XRP is not a security. That's literally like what the lawsuit was about. So if you're new to this, and you're still trying to learn what XRP is, it's not a security, nor is it an equity. So you can't really like think of it like as an equity for an ownership, like an ownership as in like a stock, right? So like you can't own ownership. It's not ownership in Ripple. So Ripple is the company that built XRP, and when they go public, then you can have ownership. Then you can think of it like a stock and equity. But XRP itself, it's not. It's infrastructure. So it's not valued on revenue, earnings, and or management decisions. So we're not dealing with the company, right? The question becomes, why are we using stock-based frameworks to evaluate it? And that, that gets muddied up with me as well too. So let's say we don't ask what the market cap of electricity is. We ask how much electricity the system needs to function. For me, electricity isn't priced on excitement, right? So it's just like, it's priced on how it's being used, how reliable it is, and then the need. Same thing with infrastructure. It isn't valued because people believe in it. It's valued because systems depend on it. So that's utilization. When I'm saying utilization and the value of it, it's a system. And I broke down, another video in detail about it. So I'll link it up here. And I'll link it into, some of my price prediction, I'll call it. Maybe it's too clickbait, so that, that's my bad. And then even when I predict some of these prices in my weekly charts, I catch myself. I'm just like, hey, like I'm not trading this, So I'm breaking it down so that way I can actually understand when's a good time to get in, and then make sure that I'm aware of like all the price action, because it does, it has price to it, right? And then you have the opportunity to get into it. That's what's new, and that's what's so different about this whole class, this whole asset class, for cryptocurrency. And XRP itself is infrastructure. So like, no, very similar to like, back in the day with the internet, right? So nobody, oh my goodness. So nobody valued TCP IP based on market cap before the internet scaled. It scaled because it was needed, not because people were trading it. right? XRP lives in the same exact category for system infrastructure and not consumer speculation. For me, market cap makes sense when you're valuing ownership. It starts to break down when you're modeling liquidity capacity. For a settlement asset, market cap isn't a valuation ceiling. It's a reflection really of how much liquidity the system requires to move value without friction. So in infrastructure, the price adjusts to handle volume, not the excitement, not the speculation. So when people argue, XRP from a short-term trading lens, don't get me wrong, like that happens to me too, because it's very difficult, to get outside of the gray area. But here's some few questions that I never see answered. I got 5 of them, so 5 solid questions, and I'll break it down, right? So like, the first one is it's more about categories. If XRP isn't a company, what exactly is market cap supposed to represent here? And then question number 2 is on the function and kind of like the utility of it. If XRP stayed cheap forever, like how does it move trillions in value without breaking liquidity? And then question 3, at what transaction volume does price have to rise just to keep settlement efficient? And then question 4, and then I like this one the most, right? So it's just, think about what happens to price when an asset becomes necessary instead of optional. So this one is the most important to me. I should have moved it up to 1, but it stresses like the system, right? And then question 5, and then this ties with like all the different predictions and price predictions that you see out there. So if price usually is the last thing to change in system adoption, why are we using price as the primary signal? So just some questions, to get you thinking a little bit about the infrastructure of XRP versus, kind of that mindset and then that lens, because that's the different shifts, right? And that's what I mean by like different perspectives. And this is probably going to spark like some other stuff around market cap, like the argument that goes back and forth all the time about market cap. And I get it, because like that's usually how you value, that's just how we know how to value something, a stock. But this is infrastructure. Like, this is literally infrastructure, guys. So it's different. And the trading lens, it isn't wrong. Trading isn't wrong. But trading questions don't explain system behaviors. Right? If you treat XRP like a trade, your plan is timing entries and exits. If you treat it like an infrastructure, your plan becomes positioning, like optionality and patience. Different lenses, different mindset shifts, and this is the debate and then the argument that came up, and I was like, I've been treating it kind of like timing for entries and exits too. But when you're investing, you got to time your entries, right? The difference between XRP is it's a system, and then you can use it as a vehicle to build wealth. Like, that's the game changer with XRP. And you know, if people don't want to use it for that purpose, then don't. I'm not a financial advisor by any means. Sorry. This is just education, right? So I'm trying to provide education to people and let folks know that it's a system to be used and to be leveraged. I'm going to use it, and I just wanted to spread it out there, and you know, have different you know, perspectives to it. So my strategy is believing in the asset because it's designed to be that way, utility based. You know, I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just trying to make sure that we're asking the right questions at the end of the day. So if you're debating, you know, if XRP in the comments, here's the real question. Post it in the comments. Are you analyzing it as a trade or as infrastructure? All right, guys. If this helped you think a little bit more clearly, that's the point. Thank you for, you know, watching to this point. Thank you for taking a second. I just wanted to get this out there. Enjoy your day, and it'll probably be like an ad hoc video. And then my next video is going to be about something different. But tune in. Thank you. If you like this type of video, leave a comment. I enjoy all of the debates and arguments, so keep them going. You know, ups and downs, I enjoy them all. So thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. I accept all feedback, so I take it with a grain of salt, all of it. But like, subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Later.